for like, close to the asking price, and you're asking like, let's say it's listed for 250, you have it for 240, and you're asking 245, then yeah, the buyer is probably just gonna wait,
Right.
and wait until you, I guess, flop on the deal. But if you're lower, then I guess it's highly unlikely. But again, it's like I don't know. It has happened to people. I don't know how frequent, but I don't know anyone who personally who has happened to.
Um, well, Eric said too is like that South St. Pete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Way down in that tip down there. He said it's kind of a no go to stay out of there.
They're
Morning.
in South
Morning,
Tampa.
dude. Mother trucker, dude. My bad for not answering, but
It's all good. I didn't get your call.
Yeah, so yeah, they're revitalizing South Tampa. I mean, me and Eric have moved deals in South Tampa. Oh no, you said South St. Pete or South Tampa?
St. Pete.
So yeah, me and Eric have moved deals in South St. Pete.
Mhm.
It's obviously not as popular as like, other locations. But it's still, you're still, if the deal makes sense, I mean, you can look at there's still flips going on there.
Okay.
They're still building new construction there. Maybe as not, but again, it's not the best area, but you're still able to move stuff at
Okay.
a decent price, of course. So I mean, it all depends what you have it for and all that kind of stuff.
Right. I see some like in Pinellas Park, and it's funny because like when we first started hitting Cleveland, and it's like, holy crap, look at all these deals over here in Cleveland. And then something dawned on us after a while. Nobody wants to buy in East Cleveland. You can buy them dirt cheap, but you can't move them.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh,
yeah, I don't know anything about East. I know it's like, it's like not a popular area. There's not many people going, wanting to start their lives out there. But in St. Pete, yeah, I mean, then, if, like I said, like, new construction happens in South St. Pete. I mean, there's still a lot of flips going on in South St. Pete. So it's not like, I wouldn't say, stay clear of, there.
okay. Well, I'm going to keep working this. You know what I mean? I just need to make a little bit of money and bail out. That's all I want to do is just make a little money and bail out. Is that a good idea? I don't know about all that, but
no, it's a good idea. It's definitely doable. Like I said, I'll keep you posted. You and Jerry posted about that deal in I think it was in Tampa, right?
Right, we had that one in Tampa.
Yeah.
And then I just signed that other one in I think it was St. Pete. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But I'll keep you posted. I mean,
Okay.
towards the end of the Zoom, I'll call my guy Steve and see what he thinks. And we'll just go from there.
Okay. Oh, I got one more thing to tell you too. And it's funny. I'll shut up after this, I promise. But it's funny how like you call agents, you call them, and for the most part, agents are pretty, okay. Some of them get a little weird. And I was telling Jerry, I've been having some pretty good luck lately with these agents. You know what I mean? They've been pretty good, And I said, but I'm waiting for the shoe to drop, and it dropped on Friday. Because the guy, he says, do you want to use, now this is a weird thing, because he says, do you want to use your contracts? I said, well, we got contracts, we can send them over. So Jerry, sent our contract that we use with Eric, right? Oh, guess what he says? Only a stupid person would use a contract like this. I said, well, I got a guy in St. Pete. Well, he must be working with a bunch of idiots. We ain't idiots. I said, it's fine. I said, okay, just send me your contract and, you know what I mean? Just let's move on. Let's get this thing done. Oh no, like it's just idiots, I mean, going on and on. And then he starts circling stuff he didn't like in the contract, right? And then this is a no-go for anybody that's got a half a brain. I said, dude, okay, let's just shut up already, all right? So anyway, long story short, in the middle of that, then he called me up and he started going off because I got my business in Wyoming. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but there was like that Robin Jones, who's a registered agent. Yeah, and he's telling me, he's screaming at me, "You can't sign. It's got to be that Robin Jones." And I finally told him what I really thought of him and hung up. I think he hung up on me first. But
yeah, sorry that happened. I mean, I don't. When you're always dealing with the agents, you always want to use the FAR. Like, I mean, in Florida, let's say the FAR bar, like the Florida real estate agreement. For the property, like I mean, unless you're dealing directly to the seller, that's when you would have to use, you have that option to use it, but you could also use the, agreements that Eric has in the Discord. I mean, because I use them too when I'm dealing with sellers.
right.
And it's nothing wrong. I mean, I've closed with attorneys using that same agreement. I've closed with sellers, and there's no issue really. The only thing in the agreement, I guess, that could be a little bit I guess weird is that there's no like due date for that for the money for the EMD. That's the only thing. Everything else is pretty much self-explanatory and checks out. Nothing is I guess nothing's just like that alarming, I guess you could say.
Right. Well, he a lot of people freak out about line 10 and 11, and it's that, you know what I mean, the clause in there about you can whatever, the attorney client or something. And then I mean, that's the second or third time that people pointed that out, and we said, we'll just remove it. It ain't a big deal. You know what I mean?
I've done that before. Yeah, like so I had people where with sellers, and I'm dealing with them with the agreement, and then they have like they want to make a few changes. Like if it's not anything too crazy, then yeah, like I'll just go into my DocuSign, get rid of that, exit out, whatever, initial, and then resend it, and then that's fine. But I just double check to make sure. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the agreement from the, like the back of my hand, so I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly. But I have had times where I had to just make a few slight tweaks, and then we're good to go.
So you're talking that I should have sent them that Florida contract.
Well, I mean, you could have just, if he was an agent and it was a listed property, you mean you wouldn't even have to send him anything. He or she, whoever the agent is on the listing, would be responsible to send you the agreement. You're never really sending any, unless you're like a direct to seller and you're talking to the homeowner, then you would be like, then you're pretty much obligated to send agreement. If it's not, you could send the FAR bar, or you could send the the agreement that's in the Discord. But I mean, when it's listed with an agent, just always use their agreement.
Right. Well, that's what I told him. I said, we can use yours. I'm fine with that. I got some contracts. He said, okay, we'll use yours. Okay. Then I sent it to him, and then he frickin' went off the deep end.
Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is.
Whatever.
Just on to the next. Melanie, you have a question?
Yeah, that's a good question.
All right, thanks, Eric.
Yeah.
For all.
Yeah, no worries.
We were talking in Discord about the house in St. Pete. So I guess it's been marinating for a few days, and she's gotten some offers, which obviously, but now I think she's becoming less motivated because she's getting higher offers. So she just got offered like 175 and wants me to counter at that, which I don't think would be a good, like, it's definitely not a good price at that. So my question is to you, should I let it marinate? Maybe see if she becomes more motivated?
Yeah, so like in those types of situations, they could be also wholesalers too, just trying to lock up the deal. Because I mean, I feel like 175 is a little bit overpriced for because
I agree.
It's pretty much a gut job. You have to start from scratch. And you could just ask her. Let's say you could follow up with her. Let's say later today or tomorrow. Like, hey, did you is it signed? Did you find that buyer? Did that buyer commit to that 175? And if so, try to find out, how long they have for money, to put money down, and how long their inspection period is, that type of thing. So let's say, oh yeah, they signed, let's say you call her, like in the afternoon today, and she's like, oh yeah, they signed earlier today for 175. It's like, okay, well, congrats, that's what I would say. And then the next follow-up question is like, well, how long do they have to put money down? Or how long their inspection period is, or blah, blah, blah. And then, she'll say like, oh, they have until Thursday. And then, I'm calling on Thursday, like, hey, how you doing? It's Terrell again. Just checking in on 123 Main Street. Did that ever go through? Did the buyer, make, put money down, and then see what she says. So just, that's just a follow-up game. That's just a follow-up game at this point. She's having offers, but I don't think anything, the way how you explained it to me, I don't think she committed to having the seller sign at 175
at all. No, she just basically said, like, when I asked her just now, she was like, the highest I would be able to go for this one is 150, and she basically said 175 is where she's at right now. We just hit the market a week ago, so she's not super motivated.
Yeah, no, I get that. So, all right, yeah, just have to follow up and see. It's not the end of the world. I've gotten deals where it's just like, where it's kind of like that same situation. They accept that higher offer, they end up flopping on the deal, and then it's just like, then you come back into the picture because you follow up with them and be like, oh yeah, perfect, and then we'll take your offer. And then and then at that point in time, it's like still like on the like it's not even sometimes the agent doesn't even make it active again. It's just pending. So like no other new faces really are into the picture. Yeah, so that's you could use that to your advantage. But again, it's just a follow up game at this point.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep. Any questions, guys? Anything else you guys are working on?
I've got one really quick if you're able to help out on it. So. What's up, man? My name's Austin. I'm new to this group, but I have a deal that I was looking at that's an off-market deal in Texas.
Okay.
Is it like, I don't know the best way to tell it to you. Can I just kind of give you the brief details and you tell me what you think or what?
Yeah. I mean, you could share, if you want, you could share the address, you could, explain it to me and I will just, tell you what I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's 2200 14th Street in Brownwood, Texas.
Okay. Brownsville, Texas, you said?
No, it's Brownwood, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
gotcha.
It's all one word, yeah. So
got it. Yeah, what's up?
Okay, so this is an off-market deal. These people have and so essentially the situation is they're just kind of falling behind on payments and stuff like that. I've got it locked up for 150, but I'm not sure if I should change the contract up. So basically, and part of this also, like the square footage on Zillow that you're looking at is off by like 400 square feet. So it's actually got like 400 additional square feet that's in there. But it's a super light rehab. Like it needs essentially new paint all throughout the inside. It needs carpet ripped up in a couple rooms and maybe a new bathroom vanity, not much though. So everything else I think is pretty good. So I really think I could probably rehab this for like less than 15 grand, if that, especially if I just paint it myself.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure the best route to go with this because, like I said, I got it locked up for 150 as a cash offer. But these people were open to subject to, and they've got a pretty low rate. It's like 3.25%. But the numbers don't make great sense to buy and hold it as a rental. So the mortgage payment is like $1,000. The rent estimate, or the one that you're looking at right there, is like roughly $1,600, which I think is pretty accurate. And they have quite a bit of equity because the mortgage is only like $105,000. So I'm like, you can't really do like a seller finance note unless they're just taking like $100, forever. If you're trying to get at least 500 minimum cash flow, you know what I mean? So would you just flip this as a cash deal, or do you think it would be smarter to do like a wrap or like a novation since the rehab is so light?
And novation could work. I mean, more so I'll probably be leaning towards just doing a flip. Giving them X amount, pays off the mortgage and walk away for a little bit of money. Because you said they have 100,000 left roughly on the mortgage, right?
Yeah, they've got like 105, I think. Okay. And I think if I fix this up, I can sell it for like conservatively 220. But another thing that I left out. So that garage you're looking at in that picture has already been converted into a room. So there's not actually a garage door anymore. It's like a front door.
Oh, okay.
So essentially that garage has been converted into a room, and So it could very easily just have that. Like if you just completed like one wall, it would be a 4-bedroom, 2-bath.
Gotcha. Is
So,
it was all permitted correctly and everything? Like it's not like.
I think it was, but that's kind of part of the confusion because that's why these people, I think they're probably just looking on Zillow and looking on the square footage, and they're like, oh yeah, it's this 1,300 square footage. But when I look at the county website, it shows 1,700. So I feel like this was already done through the county. If the county knows it is higher square footage, right?
Yeah, exactly. Let me just. I mean, I could check PropStream and see what it's saying on that end. No, PropStream's still saying 1,294, but I mean, I could also check county too. I mean, I could go to, I guess, Brown County and do that property appraiser and see what that says. But
yeah, it was kind of funky. There was a couple websites that show it like that, like Zillow, PropStream, but then some of the other ones like PropWire and the actual county, they all show that it's like 1,698, so it's like essentially 1,700 square foot.
Okay.
So. I mean, I guess I could call them and ask too, because I don't know.
You can do that too.
Did it. Also, it's Brown County, Texas. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Brown Counties apparently.
Forms.
Yeah, you go to the top right, click online services, and then property search.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And then I'll do by address, and then let's see, street number. Yeah, I mean, if it's in the county, then it's pretty much, you should be good. I guess I should have put in more stuff.
Yeah, if you just type in 2,200, it'll pop up. They kind of like this whole website's been kind of jacked up the last couple weeks, so I think they're like updating it or something. But
okay, so I see a lot of 2,200. So I have to go for what, 14th Street?
14th Street, yeah.
Yeah.
Second page.
12.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh yeah, there. Okay. Yep. And then let's see. I don't know why. Okay, there we go.
So if you scroll down a little bit, if you're looking for the square footage, it'll show it right.
I see 1308 here. I mean, okay.
Wait, where'd it go?
Oh no, I see it right here. Living area 1698. Okay. Yeah, so if it's in there as a county, then yeah, you'd be good. You would be good then, because the county record's always, the most accurate.
Okay.
So yeah, so I see 1698. So you're good. That's the living space. So it's not that 13 or whatever. That 1294. But yeah, I mean, I would like I said, I would focus on flipping that then, because if there's really no profit to as a buy and hold, it makes no sense. I mean, it's not going to cash flow. And then let's say hypothetically, I'm not sure if how old the roof is, or if it needs a new water heater or things like, if anything were to go wrong, you're already you're barely cash flowing or pretty much breaking even, and something happens inside of your pocket. So it's just easier and less of a headache if you just flip it yourself, pay them the 150, whatever. And then you put, let's say 20 into it, 20,000 into it max. Then you're in it for like 170, and then you could profit maybe 50 on the back end.
Yeah. Okay. And one additional question just for future reference, because I've never done a wrap before. So if I was trying to wrap this hypothetically, how do you even find, I mean, if this is a strategy you do, I mean, how do you find wrap buyers?
Because I don't really normally wrap deals. I just kind of just wholesale. That's my main focus.
Okay, gotcha.
But I don't know how to find someone who's only interested in a wrap deal. I mean, if the flippers and buy and hold investors that I deal with, I mean, if I bring it towards them, I say hey, look, I got a creative deal. If it makes sense to them, they'll do it. I don't know what things you could add into your search for a buyer to make sure they're that's just all they do, just buy wrap deals. I wouldn't know what to tell you, I wouldn't know where to tell you how to start. I would just say, if you have a buyer's list of buy and hold investors or fix and flippers, if you bring them this type of deal that's a wrap deal, and see what they think, and if they're willing to take it off your hands. But yeah, I wouldn't know any specific way to acquire them.
Okay, gotcha. No worries. Okay, cool. Well, I'll just keep going with what I was doing then. Stick with the 150 cash offer and probably just fix it up and flip it then. That's the plan. So, cool.
Okay.
Sweet. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. All right. Any questions, guys, on that deal in Texas? If anyone had any questions on that or anything else you guys are working on. For anyone who doesn't have PropWire or Batch Leads or PropStream, I use PropStream, but county, if you go to the county websites, you could always find the correct information. Like I said, I went on PropStream, I saw the owner's name was Joshua Long. I went on the Brown County, Texas property appraiser. I see the same thing, Joshua Long. So that was the old school way, of trying to find more information, especially the seller's information, their first and last name, who's on the deed, or the transaction history prior, who owned it before Josh. Obviously I have everything here at my fingertips, but you wouldn't, if you're in the county website, you wouldn't be able to see, all this information here. There was a loan taken out in 2018, 2020, 2022, all in the loan type, all FHA. I wouldn't be able to see that on a regular county website. So, obviously sites like PropStream, gives you a little bit more details, to, how to try to assess the deal to the best that you, if you were to go creative, then you could kind of already see, okay, they're probably, and it's just an estimate here, it's not guaranteed, it's maybe a little bit off, but the things with the loan type is always accurate, the recording dates are always accurate, and lender is always accurate too. But yeah, any additional questions, guys? No. All right. Let's see what else I got going on here. And for who is it, Rick? So he didn't get back to me as of yet. I sent 2 deals to him. I sent yours and another one. He gave me stuff on the other one, but not yours. So he just texted me a minute ago. I will see. I'll give him some more time, and hopefully he'll get back to me on the one that you have in Tampa on 128th Street or Avenue. I forget. But yeah, I know. And then if that's the case, if he is interested in that one. I know you guys have until today, so it's kind of hard. It's always hard to try to push last minute, when you have a deal that's, you need money by today. I'll see what I could do. But it's gonna be kind of hard. I'll try my best though. Any other questions, guys? I don't know if let's see what else I got going on myself. Usually, when I have a deal closing on Friday, so this Friday, the 13th, so hopefully nothing bad happens since it's Friday the 13th. But anyway, I usually always sending an email a few days prior to the title company to see if everything's still okay. Buyer is good. If you have a specific time for closing, whether it's can we do an early morning closing or whatever, and make sure I get the HUD, and the HUD is basically just states the whole payout of everything. Seller gets this much, I get this much, that type of thing. So you always want to make sure that you double check on that. You could always do it maybe as far out as 3 days before closing, make sure everything's good, so you're not so they're not make sure everything's still good. They make sure they know that the title company is having a closing date on whatever date. But yeah. How fast do off-market pre-foreclosures wholesales do? As soon as possible. It's just like any regular deal, because when it's a pre-foreclosure, the banks aren't involved as of yet. So as long as you're able to, let's say seller accepts, let's say seller is behind. It's hard to think of an example real quick. Let's say seller's behind 2 months. You know, they want to just be done with the deal, want to walk away. They owe 100,000 left on the mortgage. You're giving them, you know, property as is probably worth like 150. Resale values, let's say, you know, like 290, 300. You know, if you are able to, you know, make sense of it, then you know, the buyer would be able to pick that up, no problem. You pay out the seller, they make probably 50,000, a little bit less with taxes, and then you know, you make X amount, and then you assign it to your buyer. So it's still a regular wholesale deal. Because again, it's just like, you know, the bank isn't involved yet. It's not like, you know, it's an auction property or like an actual, you know, foreclosure yet. So the seller still has full control. So as long as the deal makes sense and the seller signs, you know, you should be able to, if the numbers make sense, then obviously, yeah, you should be able to move it as soon as possible. I've done pre-foreclosure deals where I could close it or when I could assign it in the same day, or then maybe the next day, and then, you know, obviously you got to wait like 2 weeks roughly for title to be ready, and then you close it right then and there. And let's say if they have an auction date, let's say like, you know, their auction date is like in a week or whatever, then yeah, you would have to reach out to the lender to be like, hey, look, we have this agreement here, it's a done deal, blah blah blah. And I mean, depends on the situation of the seller. I don't know how long. Let's say if they've been behind for like, you know, 2 years, and I don't know how willing they would be willing to work with the seller. I don't know. It all depends, and each lender is different. When it's pretty much at the auction date, like when you are pretty much like when the auction date, let's say the auction date is tomorrow, then, you know, it's pretty much really late, because as soon as tomorrow hits, then yeah, they're going to auction off the property, and if they, you know, at that point in time, the bank's in full control. Yeah, no worries. Good question though. Yeah, so like guys, you know, pre-foreclosures are easy. It's just, you know, really don't have to put much thought into it. It's just the only, I guess, difficult part, and I think it's easier because it's just less competition. Not many people are going after pre-foreclosures. Everyone who's, you know, wholesaling is either going after properties that are, let's say, absentee owners, so they own the property but they don't live in the property, or like high equity homes. You know, let's say there's like their home has you know, sellers have like 70 or more % equity in the home. A lot of people are going after high equity. So at high equity absentee owners, and then like, I don't know, one other thing, I guess. But yeah, I would say pre-foreclosures are not really tapped, and then also like probates aren't really tapped. So those two, I would, you know, they're, you know, pretty good. I've done a lot of probates. I've done a lot of pre-foreclosures. It's just simple once you know the whole strategy. But yeah, like once it hits the foreclosure, once it hits that auction date, there's really nothing you can do to wholesale it, because it's at that point in time, it's just like, you know, you have to have money right away. There's not really like an inspection period, all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty much you know, you want to get that before in the pre-foreclosure state. How do you find pre-foreclosures? You could go to the county website, or you could go to sites like PropStream and find them. Let's say if you don't, you know, if you're not using, let's say, obviously, if we had, let's say we're looking at, let's say Brownwood, Texas, we'll do that. And we'll see there's 5, I guess, unless it doesn't update. I'm trying to see here. I guess there's only 5 in Brownwood, Texas. So yeah, there's 5 properties that are in pre-foreclosure in Brownwood, Texas. I like to, and you can see some of them have auction dates already. Like this one might have gotten pushed back. I don't know. Same with this one. You know, but if usually, you know, let's say if I click on something and let's say the auction date was, all right, let's say all the way to, because there's something in April, right? Yeah, so this one in April, so that was 4/22/2024. I mean, I guess they might have pushed it back because it's still showing in the borrower's name, which is Karen. But you would have to just call and just double check to see if that's still the same case. Or you could go to, like, let's say, if you're in St. Pete, you know, I know you, Melanie, you're looking in, I think, I forget the deal if it was in North St. Peter, South, but anyway, it's in Pinellas County. So like, let's say you go to Pinellas County, clerk of court. You just go to Pinellas County Clerk of Court. You know, this is where you would view all the records in St. Pete, and then you would scroll down to, where is it at? Official records and recording, and then official records search. And each county is different, guys. You just gotta like know how to navigate. This is important here. You want to look at document type. This will tell you, like, again, if you didn't have any data services like PropStream, Batch Leads, PropWire, is what we would have to do. This is like, you know, the old-fashioned way where you didn't have to go to the, you know, it's not like the really old-fashioned way is just going directly to the, you know, going in person. But this is another way you can do it when you don't have those, when you don't pay for like PropStream or whatever. But anyway, document type. Let's say if I wanted to hit on pre-foreclosures, it's also called Liz Pendens. I'll click on that. Let's say I want to look at everything within the past month. So anybody who's gotten notified in Pinellas County, so that's like Clearwater, St. Pete, Dunedin, Pinellas Park, like all those areas are in Pinellas County. I hit search, and you can see everything. I don't know how many there are going to be. There's 11 pages, and you can see like, you know, here's a name here, Ilmi. I've never seen that name before. But and here's their, you know, lender, Finance of America, reverse. Another name here, David, you know, Bank United. So let's say I click on David. I guess he also has it in a trust too, but you can see like, you know, the Bank United, and then here's the plaintiff, David, and and then it would have, there's like usually 2 pages here. Let me see if I can just move this bar here. Okay, so second page, and that's when it would have most likely the property, or I guess the description of the property, which kind of makes it annoying. Let me see here. Sometimes they do have it, sometimes they don't. If they don't, then obviously you would have to go to, let me see, I'll just have to click out, go copy his name or whatever, and then go to Pinellas County Property Appraiser. So I'll do that right now. So like I'll copy his name here. A little bit extra work, but like sometimes they do have the address on here, and sometimes they don't. In this case, they just have the description of the address. Yeah, so I would just have to go to Pinellas County Property Appraiser, put in his last name, first name, and then you would be able to find his, you should be able to find his thing. Oh, I should have done, I guess, Smith. Yep, and then David, here he is. Yep, and then pull it up here, and it's in Clearwater, which is in Pinellas County. I could copy this address. Looks like a townhouse, basically, by the looks of it. But anyway, I will, let's say, put it in here, and you can see that, you know, back when we were looking at this, we saw it was Bank United. It probably would say the same thing on PropStream. So I'll copy, hit paste. I see his information is still going to be, you know, it's all the same, David. I guess he also has it in a trust too. And then, oh, it doesn't show it on here. So it says there's no mortgage also. I wonder why. Let's see, hold on, maybe it was for something else. I don't know. I mean, it's in a. I'm not sure why it's because it's saying it is, but it's on the PropStream. It's not. So I don't know. I guess PropStream. I mean, oh yeah, sorry. Well, if this just, I mean, usually PropStream takes about like 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, even though it's still, I mean, he was issued this on 8/8. I mean, I don't know. I guess PropStream didn't update it yet. That could be the only reason why. But you could always, you know, it's in here. It's in the county, so the county's always accurate. You know what I mean? So you could always give them a call and be like, you know, and this is, and also the perfect way because people usually don't go to the county websites because it's like kind of tedious like this. And you could be able to get a head start against people who wait until there's a notification on PropStream for pre-foreclosures. Because like if it were to hit pre-foreclosures in Pinellas County, this property wouldn't come up. But obviously we know that it's one based off of the county website. Sometimes it could take, like I said, sometimes it could be a little bit faster, sometimes it could be a little bit longer until a site like PropStream updates. But that's the fastest way you would be able to make sure you securely get a lead before anybody else. Some people still go through this method, but most people don't because again, it's a lot of work. I guess 2 extra steps. Again, if they don't have the address listed here, you have to go to property appraiser, put in their first last name, and then like for example, they have it here, like also known as 2400 Feather Sound Drive, Clearwater. So, I could always go to here, 2400 Feather Sound Drive, and that's in Clearwater. Copy. It's gonna see the same. Oh, I guess it's an apartment. Okay, I didn't even see it was an. Oh yeah, it's a condominium. So, all right. Well, that's kind of all right. So, you could wholesale condos. I've done it once, but most of the times, it's gonna be difficult. Not many buyers like condos. Or like I've wholesaled mobile homes. It's not, but your buyer pool for condos is smaller. Your buyer pool for mobile homes is smaller. Most people like dealing with just single family or multifamily homes. Any questions, guys?
How do you approach those types of calls, like the foreclosures?
I treat it like I don't even mention it. I want them to tell me what the problem is. So like whenever I call, I just treat it like, let's say if I were to call Mark, let's say he had a single family home, I'll be like, hi, is this Mark? And then he'll say yes or no. It's like, hey Mark, how you doing? My name's Terrell. My buy properties in Pinellas County. I saw you had something on 123 Main Street. Would you be open to selling? And then just kind of shut up and listen and just see what he or she would have to say. But yeah, I don't mention, you don't want to give away your hand. You want them, because when you call anybody, especially if it's a cold call, they already have their guard up because they don't know who's calling them. So as soon as they explain the situation or get to talking to you, any second or minute that they stay on the phone, their wall goes down. And you'll be surprised how many people tell you like their life story off that first call or second call. But that's how I would treat it. I never mention like, oh hey, I saw your properties, I saw you're behind on your mortgage. Like they one of the they already know, and they're getting calls from they got a call from you, they got a call from their lender, whether it's like Bank of America, Wells, whoever their lender is. In this case, it's Lakeview Loan Services. So like they've been probably calling them like, hey, Mark, you're behind, you're delinquent on your, so they're already getting a million calls. So, you don't want to add to that, I guess, nuisance of calls or whatever that they have been getting prior to you. You just, again, want them to just treat it like, like you don't know what's going on at all. You don't know the history. You don't know anything really. I do the same thing when I call properties with liens, whether it be like a water lien or like a tax lien or HOA lien. I'm not saying like, hey, I saw that you're behind on your HOA lien, I'm just treat it like, hey, look, my name's Terrell, I buy properties, blah, 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 in this city or this county, are you interested in selling, and see what they have to say. They'll say yes, then they'll tell you why they're interested, or they'll say no, or they'll hang up, one of the two happens. If you sometimes people tell me no, so my next thing is like, I treat it 2 ways. It's like, do you would you be ever consider selling in the future? It's one of the things I go to. Or I would then ask, if that's not if I don't go that route, I would ask, well, who do you know in that area that might be interested in selling? I do pay for referrals. And I've gotten that before. People saying like, oh, they think about it because well, who do you know? Like, well, who do I know? That's kind of what they're thinking. Sometimes they do have somebody, and they will say, maybe my neighbor, or whoever they say, or sometimes they don't. And then, I'll be like, well, if you ever change your mind, or if you know anybody, just give me a call. I could always send you a picture of my card. My card is pretty much, it says like Terrell buys houses, and it has my phone number, all that kind of stuff. So like, if they're open to that, then I send my card to them, and then, sometimes I could get a call back, sometimes I get a text back. It's there, so if anything happens, and also my card too, it says pays for referrals. So, you can get contacts that way. So I guess I would suggest, getting going to Vistaprint, printing out like, I don't know, like 100 cards for like $20 or something. I don't know I think it's like 25 for like 100. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, that's what I would do. But yeah, I mean, doesn't mean, I guess there's been deals where it's a no now, and then months later it's a yes. I've closed many deals like that. So, it depends how they say no to you. Like if they're nice about it, then I would, consider just prying a little bit more. Like, well, okay, like, do you think like, maybe maybe next summer, this coming summer, you might be interested, or, who do you know, blah, blah, blah. But if they're just like, no, stop calling, blah, blah, then obviously, not to pursue it anymore. But like I said, if they leave the door open, then yeah, you could ask like one or two more questions before I guess you end the call. And that's important, because like I said, I have closed deals where it's like, it was a no. Like I closed the deal, it was like in June or whatever, and it was like, I don't know, like I think it was like almost a year ago, he said no, but I just followed up with him gradually, every like few months, because I have a CRM system, so like I know one day, like I'll push a lead out, like he just screamed tired landlord. He was just like, it's his only other property. Obviously, he lives in one property, and then he owns that one. It was a 2-unit. He's just like, oh yeah, it's like, it was giving him problems. He was explaining to me like, yeah, this just went, and I had to fix this, blah blah blah. Like he got it, like. I think in 2018 he owned it for a few years, and is just already done with it. And but yeah, I just followed up with him like every so often, and then the next thing you know, it was in like April of this year, where he would send me a text like, hey, you still interested in buying it? So that's always good. That's like an inbound text. It was an inbound text he sent to me, and then after that, we pretty much did the deal, and then we were good to close a few weeks later. So yeah, so a follow-up is key. I mean, that's how you're gonna make money, guys. So you just gotta make sure you just, stay consistent with it. Yeah, Jason, I could help. I guess you could send me the bank call might take long. I don't know, but you could message me on Discord, and then I could get, we could tackle that after the Zoom here, because the bank call would take long. So you're gonna be on hold for like 5-10 minutes. If that's the case, and hopefully not longer than that. And then, talking and hopefully, I mean, ideally you would need the seller to be on the call, because they're gonna have to, obviously we don't have authorization for them to tell you about what the situation the seller's in, like how, what the balance is on the mortgage or anything like that. So
he did that for me, I think on Friday.
Oh, okay. All right.
I preempted him to do that for me on Friday.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah. So we could call, and then hopefully everything is. Can you give me a quick so you're just you're trying to sub to it for yourself, or you're trying to like.
So the thing is, I don't know if I can do it for myself, because it's gonna need. The house is about 700, 780, right around there. It is a short sale, right? But it's going to need work in the bathroom, from what I'm told.
Okay.
And like a little bit of work everywhere else. So I wanted to do it as a wrap, but I don't know how to explain that, because I've never done a wrap before. I've really just done regular seller finance or regular wholesale. So I've never done a sub 2 before. So I've always done seller finance or just wholesale. So this is the first for both. And if I do a wrap.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll show you the property details when we take it to Discord and go through.
Yeah. I'll put my name in the chat here. Yeah. So I'll tackle that. I've done bank calls before. Nothing I'm not used to. Just hopefully, they're willing to work with us. I mean, because there are some banks that are like really lenders that are really annoying. So you have to try to fight for information, even with the seller on the phone. But in this case, they sort of granted EU authorization, so they shouldn't give us any hard times. But you never know. All right, Rick, I will call my guy Steve and see what he says right now. For 128th Street or whatever avenue. Let me actually look to see because I forget the address. Oh, he's saying like 128. Oh, he sent me a text. I didn't even see this at 11:28, saying that 128th Street is just a weird house. I'm trying to make sense of the floor plan. So that's what he said. If you could hear me, that's what he said so far. Which one was it? I have to put the address in just because I forget. 120. 803. I look at so many houses, I always forget like what I'm. Oh yeah, I think it was like that 5-3. I think it was like a 5-bedroom, 3-bath. I think. Yeah, 5-3. Okay. I mean, I guess he probably looked at the property appraiser for the floor plan. I mean, they did a lot of work already, so it's not really too much. Again, I don't know. I'm not like, I don't know. But like, that's just what he said so far, my guy Steve. So if you could hear me, Rick, that's what he said so far. But let me just call him. Let's see if maybe he might give me more information then. Because I forget what I had for the ARV, like 3 something, 320, 330, maybe a little bit lower. I guess he might not answer. I mean, he did just text me like 30 minutes ago, 11:28. But if he does call me back or
You reached the voicemail of Steve Aceto.
yeah, if he does call me back or send me a text, I'll keep you posted. I'm trying my best, I know you said today is your last day, so it's kind of hard for me to try to get something in less than 24 hours, but I'll see what I can do. And if he does bite, and is more inclined to pursue it, then I mean, I guess I would have to, you guys would have to try to get an extension, but don't do it as of yet because he hasn't really committed to pursuing it. Any other questions, guys?
Yo, Terrell.
Hey, how you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I threw a website in there, resource for like pre-foreclosures or whatever. Yeah, that.
Yes, I remember.
So, yeah, that's just like counties. They add to that list sometimes. It's not like every county in the country, but those are like decent counties for pre-foreclosures right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, I don't know if anybody, I put it in there a couple times, but that's a good one to use.
Yeah.
So I just kind of threw it in there. But the question I had was that actually I was just updating you on the Vipal. Is that how you say his name, Vipal?
Yeah, Vipal or whatever. But yeah, I saw the last. And did he send you another email? Yesterday? I mean, I saw the things that he sent on. Was it Saturday? I think it was.
Yep.
Maybe Friday.
Yeah. So he just said, "Hello, good to hear. Thank you. Send me a list of real estate you currently own."
Yeah, I saw that.
With the values and links. Thank you, Vipal Shah.
Mm-hmm.
Shaw. And then I just responded back with, I think you saw it. It was just I basically said, the best thing about this is I have no liens or property burdens distracting from this project. I'm an eager and hungry student. And then I gave him the rundown, the update.
Yeah.
So, and I was kind of like looking at the list. He messaged that in the middle of the night. I think that's because he's out of the country, right?
Yeah. He's like.
So I was like, I wasn't really expecting anything in the middle of the day, obviously, but like at night.
Yeah.
Maybe. But probably because it's like Sunday is probably like off or something. I'm not sure. But it's nothing yet. We haven't got any response just yet.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he should get back to you by probably by today. Again, like I said, he's overseas visiting family, and I know it's like a 12-hour difference or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
totally understandable. Yep.
if anything, he should get back to you today. But I mean, obviously, you know, you saw your first initial your first initial email, so he was, you know, pretty. I don't think he took a day or two to respond or something like that. So,
Yep.
so yeah.
No, that's all good. I just I'm looking, like, I've been updating on this property a little bit. Been trying to find some more stuff to throw in it. I don't know, like, what the extent he wants to go as far as like update, like making it a really nice model home in a lot of ways. Because there is quite a bit of upside. And so, I mean, I'm just kind of like, the only reason, I mean, kind of throwing it out there with you because, I mean, we've been going back and forth in this class. I've been here for like, what, a couple months or whatever now. And so what I was thinking is like, we just start some kind of project inside this class, you know, and kind of get like a collab going on, because the wholesaling and the rentals, that's all like, I mean, that's fine, you know, but it's not really like interesting enough. Like, I wanted to do like a project home, you know, something like you could learn how to build a model, like in this case, you can make this into like a smart home. It's got enough room in it, you know, and that seems to be in pretty high demand. Like, I've seen a lot of like people buying at the level that this house could sell at. They want smart home amenities, like modern, contemporary, near luxury home, you know, offerings. And so that's where we're kind of at, you know.
Okay.
But so I just think it'd be a good project for us to work on. And I think Vipal would be a perfect partner for it. I mean, if you think he'd be a good guy for it, I'm down to work with this class.
Yeah, no,
you know,
that's why I sent you his information. But yeah, he'll get back to you. Again, it's just that, you know, that time difference. I know he gets back in the States on the 20th, but he should be able to still respond and stuff like that. You know, like I said, give him, if he doesn't respond to you, email by let's say end of today, then I will send him a text message, and, you know, just to check his email or something. That's the only thing I can really do. But yeah, I know he, you know,
you think the updates we have so far are good enough? Like those?
Yeah. I wouldn't, you know, he has more than enough information that you sent in the email to him to feel comfortable with, you know, all his questions would be answered. Like, you know, you send him comps, you send him everything, you know, a list of, you know, different options for like repairs and stuff like that. So like, I don't think he would have any like, I guess, concerns. But again, you know, he's the one lending the money, not me. So I mean, he might have something I didn't even think about. But yeah,
that's why I like to work on this. I haven't really, my skills in working with investors has not been like this advanced, where I'm like on Zoom and class and working with investors. Typically, when I'm working with like money, like when I'm working with people on the job, it's usually like, you know, a seller financing me something, or like, you know, kind of like renters or project managers, stuff like that, you know, contractors. But I've never actually worked in like the skills of like sitting in class like this and then on a Zoom and then working with like a I guess a mentor or you know, a teacher here like you, Terrell, and then an investor alongside. You know, that kind of collaboration. I have not worked on that skill, so I think this is a great opportunity to do so.
Yeah, of course. So
do you have any critiques on any of that? Any of the email stuff? I'm wide open to, you know, suggestions and stuff.
I will keep you posted. But yeah, everything looks good on from what I saw in the email.
Yep. And then so that list there, I just that's just the pre-foreclosures. Anybody like doing prospecting? I'm not sure if anybody's like in the gig of prospecting right now, but that's a pretty decent list for pre-foreclosures, at least.
I've used this too. I just only the one on here that is in my area, because I mean, there's nothing in Florida, but I've used the Lehigh County, Pennsylvania one, because I have a lot of buyers in like Allentown and like Easton and Bethlehem, like those areas of PA, like the eastern part of PA. But yeah, everything else, I mean, if they're in those areas, I mean, yeah, I would, you know, whether virtual or non-virtual, I mean, it's always good to tackle. Let's see here. Bella, did you have a question for me? You said hey. I don't know if you're just saying hi to me or if you had a question.
Just saying hi.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. Any other questions, guys? Anything else you guys got going on? You know, I'll probably do like another 2 minutes on here if that's the case. So I can, you know, so you guys can continue with your day. But yeah, you
What
know,
is this website for? For just foreclosures or
Uh,
like listings or what?
pre-foreclosures, yeah.
So it's like a consolidated list of all the counties, or not all of them in the country, but a number of like target counties that are really good in like numbers as far as pre-foreclosures and foreclosures go. It's like, for example, like what he's saying about Lehigh County. He's in that market, like really, he has buyers in that market. And so it might be easy to get on the phone with one of these. Like if you get on that pre-foreclosure list, it'll bring up like the next week of, I don't know, Terrell, you want to click on it or show them, but
Yeah, I'll click.
it'll bring up the next week of foreclosures that all need to be settled. Those dates are like in the next 7 days. You can stretch it out to like the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But the point is that those have to, somebody has to figure something out on those things like ASAP, you know?
Yeah. So that's why the motivation is always there. Like I would say pre-foreclosures is like, you know, you're not like if you call a high equity lead, you know, they're not going to be motivated to sell. But if you call a pre-foreclosure lead, then obviously they have, you know, here's a sales date 9/27. So they have what, like 2 weeks to do something, you know, the seller before they lose the house.
Yeah, that's true. That's pretty cool.
Sometimes the lender pushes it back because I've called this lead before, 385 Walnut Lane. I've called that before, so like this has been pushed back a handful of times. I also called the one in Jordan Street, same thing. But you know, I don't remember calling this one here on 8th Street. But like either way, like I said, some of them that auction date goes through. Sometimes they get pushed back another week or whatever, and then they just keep extending it. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, pre-foreclosures always. I highly recommend people going after them.
Okay.
Yeah, and that link gives you like the most pressing, the most urgent.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you get on the phone with pretty much any one of those people, they know they have to be figuring something out in the next couple of days to a week, you know? So they're a little bit more, they're really open to suggestions, offers, all that. So it works. It's like, I think I don't want to give it like a win rate just yet. It's not like I'm gambling in a casino, but I would say it's got at least a better than 50-50 chance sometimes. Whereas like Zillow, yeah, it's decent. I mean, you could get on Zillow and you could just search through like thousands of listings and call them up, and they'll be like, well, you know, it'll settle in like 3 months, or you know, we just got the LOD, letter of default, like this week, so we have like, you know, 2 or 3 months. But all of those listings, they're basically, unless like Terrell's saying like he's called and he's already talked to somebody who's already got it extended. That's sometimes the case. But more times than not, at least in my experience, some of these people are really open to seller finance terms or getting something done. So.
Appreciate you sharing that, Michael. Any questions on this, guys, or anything else you guys got going on? Whether you know any other generic, I guess, real estate questions or other leads you guys got that you need some help with? I'll spend like another.
Do you just skip trace on PropStream?
Yeah, you could do that. Or you could use Tree People Search. Either two. Obviously, Tree People Search is the free option, but PropStream, you know, you could always, you know, use that. Maybe you could get a different number, but again, you have to pay like, you know, 10 or PropStream's is 12 cents. So you would have to pay 12 cents. I think PropWire is 10 cents, but I could be wrong. But yeah, you know, you might sometimes you could get the same number that you get on Tree People Search, the same few numbers, but sometimes you do get like 1 or 2 different numbers, vice versa. So, but yeah, you know, we could only do.
I threw the True People Search link in there too.
Yeah, just www.truepeoplesearch.com. You put the seller's name, put the seller's address, and then you're pretty much good to go.
So if you just copy and paste one of those addresses in the address section of True People Search, it'll usually like right below where you type it in, a little box will pop up and it'll suggest the address. Maybe Terrell can demonstrate it here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. I'll copy. I'm sorry, I got that wrong.
That's
So
in the name, but you can do it.
yeah. So you could do there, and then you could do like the Walnut Lane. I think with this one, I think I spoke to the mom of Millie, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. I mean, I speak to so many people. Why isn't this not? There you go. Okay, so have the address, have the thing. Here's you see Millie. Or maybe some relative. I don't know. Here it says deceased, so I guess I was confusing with another property. And you can see the address is in Cedarbrook, but if you scroll down, sometimes you can see the other address. So here's 385 Walnut. So you can see a list of like other homes that Millie lived in. But there's only like 2 numbers to try. So you could call one of those 2 or 2 of those 2 numbers and see like, hey, I was calling to speak to the owner of blah blah blah. Because I wouldn't say Millie because it says there that I guess she passed away in 2018. So like, we could be like, hey, just I don't know, or we could say, hey, I'm looking to speak to one of the heirs of Millie, because obviously it says her death record. But yeah, that's how you would do it. Quick and easy. Again, name, address, and then that's pretty much it. Sometimes you don't get the information, then you would have to skip it to see if you can get numbers. But the free way is True People Search.
And also, if you just gonna add one more thing. If you just put the address search, Terrell, do you know that one? Where you just search the address?
What'd you?
Do you know about where if you just put the address in there, just doing regular address search without the name?
No, I would do the name and the address and the person. But yeah, so it's last name required when I just put in the Walnut Lane.
Well, yeah, if you want to click the address search, sometimes you won't have the name, but you have to like backtrack it. So if you click address search,
let's go back to the home.
Yeah, you can go back to the home thing too, but from there you can click on it. But basically, so it goes just straight with the address and you put it in. And then when you put the address in, it might not show up at first like what he just did, where it won't show up at the bottom. But if you backspace one of those numbers, like if you backspace any letter or number, it should recommend a little thing at the bottom. Oh, that's still in the name search, Terrell.
Wait, where are you?
You see where it says address search, like 2 boxes to the right of name search?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, let's click that one.
Okay.
And then when you put it in there, now it won't show up immediately like that. You have to backspace and see which one it suggests. But also, I wouldn't put it in the zip code area. I'd put it in the regular address area. So there's a box right to the left of that. You see where it says 123 Park Ave?
Yeah.
If we put it in there.
Okay, I got you. So I'll copy 385 Walnut.
Yep.
Okay.
There you go. And then it'll suggest some places, right?
Yeah.
And then you want to click on the one you're looking at. In this case, it'll be Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you clicked it.
Yeah. Yep. And then I'm scrolling right now. I'm looking to see Millie, but I see other.
You want to try to match her name.
Yeah. I don't see. I think her last name was Campbell, right? Possibly.
Yep.
No, it was Pearson. It was Pearson's.
Pearson. Okay, then.
It's not Campbell. Okay. So
So what you can do is, if you go back to that True People search page and you go to the bottom, it'll give you another list to click on. So, well, if we search it one more time, I think we just went back a whole page. Yeah, it's like it gives you like a next page results, and then sometimes you'll find them on that as well.
Oh yeah, okay.
You see the bottom there?
Yeah.
And then the next page will show up. Sometimes it'll be there.
Okay, I see her last name here for Charisse or whatever, Pearson. So I didn't know that, so I can click on here, for example, and
that's probably the
a relative, I'm assuming.
Yep.
And we have more numbers to choose from now. We have what, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12?
You have no more people to contact. Yep.
Yeah. And maybe sometimes you could also see too that she lived at the address. Maybe she lived at 385 because her some previous addresses, and then this one is listed here 385. So yeah, that's
And your emails and some other stuff there.
Yeah, so I could call and see see like maybe she's living in the property, maybe she's not. You could always double check it here by, let's say, going to 525 North Jordan Street and see who owns that. Maybe it's Sharice, maybe it's another family member, I don't know. But yeah, that helps a lot. I just always do the name search, but I never thought to do the address.
I feel like what Terrell's doing, PropStream, you can really narrow it down, because PropStream gives you the name and like their company and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
That's how you can like back check it as well. So like if you don't want to skip trace and you do have PropStream, you can find out the name on PropStream, and then instead of paying for skip trace, use True People Search.
Yeah.
Or if you don't have PropStream, then you can just True People Search.
On here, it's saying the owner of 525 North Jordan Street isn't whatever name, Sharice or whatever. It's saying it's yeah. So yeah, we're looking at Sharice Pearson, but when I go on PropStream, I'm seeing Shannon Raznak, and I go on the mortgage and transaction history. I don't see a Pearson owning it at all, but who knows? But yeah, I mean,
that's a good thing there too, because if you take that name from the property details and you put that into True People Search and you give it the zip code, it'll also back check it as well.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah. All right. Appreciate you sharing that, Mike.
Yeah, definitely.
See, I got
for ways you can like narrow it down. You want to get somebody on the phone who's willing to sell, and frankly, some of these people are waiting for people like us, like wholesalers, to call.
Yeah, exactly.
They're in distressed situations, and a lot of those counties they have to get those properties out of distressed status. So if you're doing that work, that's what you get an assignment fee.
Exactly. All right. Appreciate you sharing that, Mike. I gotta get going, guys, because Eric has his Zoom on this account, so I gotta get off and so he can do like a one-on-one or whatever. But yeah, it was a pleasure. My next Zoom will be on Wednesday, 11 to 12. So hope to see you guys on there again. If not, if you have any questions, just give me shoot me a message on Discord. I'll try to answer as soon as I can. And but yeah, you guys have a good rest of your Monday.
Thank you, Terrell.
Thank you. Have a blessed day, everybody. Bye bye.
Have a good day.